Black Scully on check. Got a little Buffalo Bills graphic tee on check. Welcome to another marvelous episode. On today's docket, in our Into the News segment, we're going to talk about quite a few things. I think yesterday we talked about the Tom and Castellanos situation, and he kind of saying that Alabama isn't the same now that Nick Saban is no longer there. I think we saw the right way and the wrong way to kind of handle this type of media, where we'll see Thomas Castellanos gave Alabama bulletin board material, while LaNorris Sellers addressed that, and he kind of answered it professionally in the way that you want to answer it. Also on today's docket, we're going to look at PFFs. They had this great list of players that they think will, make a huge impact this season. It was like the top transfer portal players. So we're going to talk about where we agree with the list and then kind of where we disagree with that list as well. Also on today's docket, Athlon Sports put out a list of players who they believe is going to have a breakout season this upcoming year. And numero uno on that list was Raiola. A lot of people have really high hopes for this Nebraska team this upcoming season. So I'm excited to talk about that as well. And finally, we're going to do kind of an interactive activity. I haven't done many interactive activities, but we're going to relook at the rosters on teamcrafters.net, and I'm going to have my live stream up, and the people who are talking in the chat, a player they want to see, we're going to look them up right then and there. So it'll be like the first interactive thing that I've done, so it's kind of going to be fun. So my first three segments will be scripted, of course, but the last segment we're going to have a little bit of fun, and then players you guys want to see their overalls, we can go look at them. So it's going to be a really fun episode. Governor of College Football, hashtag go CFB. CFB Nation, your only college football destination. Let's get it. Governor of College Football, we're going to recap ACC.
Hey, that's CJ
defensive
on
minds. They have to be better on that side of Alrighty, into the news on this June 25th day. I've had a really interesting day today. I had to go pick up a tuxedo. My boy Aidan is getting married. He's getting married on July 20th. So thank goodness he follows the no fall wedding rules, or I wouldn't have been attending his wedding. But I'm one of the groomsmen in the wedding, so I went to go do that today. It's been a really fun day. We're still in the process of moving, so I haven't completed that completely. Still some things I need to do around the house, but enough with all of the fluff. Let's get into our Into the News segment, and we're going to kick it off with how hot is Mike Gundy's seat. I think we're kind of at that time period in Stillwater where it's like, for the better part of 2 decades, Mike Gundy's teams have performed, and they've been competitive and they've been consistent. And looking at, where the team finished at last year, and I said this on Overreaction Monday yesterday, even though we had the show on a Tuesday, that I felt like that, Oklahoma State was supposed to be there. Like, you think about the fact that Oklahoma is now in the SEC, Texas is in the SEC. Like, Oklahoma State should have been naturally the team that we all expected to take over last year, and with a dynamic player in Ollie Gordon. I just think that the bad season for Oklahoma State last year, it didn't start, at the beginning of the season. I think it started at Big 12 Media Days. I truly believe that. I think Mike Gundy put his foot in his mouth, then he kind of had to answer a bunch of things that he should not have had to answer, and quite frankly, it just led to a bad season. Looking at their team this year, it's a lot of roster turnover. I'd be interested to see how good this team is, and I think when we look at it, in the grand scheme of things, how good the Big 12 has gotten. When you look at the overall roster construction of the conference, I think this conference has the best quarterback play that there is, and I don't think the next conference is close. And some of you guys will probably be offended by that, especially if you're a fan of the SEC teams. But I think when you look at the lower tier level quarterbacks in the Big 12, we may be talking about a Connor Wegman who can completely take off this year. We may be talking about a Caden Salter who can take off this year. Hell, Noah Fafita can have a bounce back year and look the way he looked in 2023. So I think even their lower tier quarterbacks are phenomenal, in comparison to, some of these other conferences. So I'm interested to see where they're at. We are just 13 days away from Big 12 Media Day. CFB Nation will have boots on the ground. I can't wait to attend that event. I can't wait to go to Frisco. I've never been to Texas. So this is going to really be fun. So I want to kind of see where they're at. How hot is Mike Gundy seat? Is extremely hot. I mean, when you think about it, I don't think his buyout is crazy. They slashed his his contract by $1 million. His contract was restructured because last year it was the worst year of his tenure. They went 3-9 last year, and just heading into the season. And I remember doing our media packets, and that's something I think we should be receiving from the Big 12 very soon to complete our media packets again. That'll be something that I'll complete live on episode, where the entire episode will just be filling out the Big 12 media packet. It's a little bit different from the ACC. In pretty much the media packet, you're writing in the players that you believe that are going to be the preseason, all conference, and the postseason award winners and all of that jazz. ACC is a little bit different. They poll the coaches, and then the coaches kind of have the choices, and it's multiple choice. Big 12 is completely different. You just write it in. You also rank each team. You power rank each team as well. So that's something we'll do live on this show. I'm gonna try to find an interactive way to do it. So if I can download the file and edit it, like a PDF or something like that, and we can fill on it live together. I think that'll be kind of cool. So the pressure on Mike Gundy is high. Just some things were just mismanaged last year. And I hope he figures it out, because he's definitely one of those personalities that I like a lot in the college football sphere. It'll be interesting to see what happened. Castellanos versus Bama. This is Heat Check Part 2. I think Castellanos, he's excited for, to be in Gus Malzahn's system again. I think he's coming to prove that, he's spectacular. And I think we saw those flashes in 2023. And in 2024, I think we've seen a more tamed version of Thomas Castellanos, because Bill O'Brien wanted him to keep those turnovers down. So you just got to be careful with who you decide to pick fights with. I think we've seen Diego Pavia kind of just pick fights with everybody this offseason, and Thomas Castellanos picked a fight with Saban, with Alabama, saying, hey, they don't have Saban to save them anymore. I think that's a shot. That's bulletin board material. And if I'm Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, or Kane Womack, I got that printed around in the locker, and I'm using that thing as bulletin board material 100%. So it'll be interesting to see, where this thing ends up. But I think we see somebody that's kind of probably a little bit better media trained. I don't think that Castellanos believes what he said 100%. Like, I've met him in IRL. I've seen him at ACC Media Days last year. Highly confident person. He believes in his ability. He's uber talented. Let's not take anything away from him. But I think you've seen the way that you wouldn't want your quarterback to answer a question versus the way you would want your quarterback to answer a question. I figured Thomas Castellanos, like, man, Diego Pavia can't be the only one having fun this offseason, right? So he jumped his name into the mix. But LaNorris Sellers, he jumped in. He said, Alabama's still Alabama to me. Sellers told that, on the Zach Gelb show, showing respect for Tide size, speed, and culture under Kalen DeBoer. That's the way you want your starting quarterback to answer a question like that. Don't give nobody any added bulletin board material. Castellanos will have to back that up week 1, and he is talented enough to back it up. We've talked about calibration a lot on this show as of recent, and when we start to calibrate and try to figure out where teams are, we saw Florida State have an abysmal season last year. Mike Norvell fired both of his coordinators. We saw Mike Gundy do the same thing in Stillwater last year. So things will be interesting in Tallahassee, and you starting your season with a tall task. But if they're able to come in and handle business, I believe the game is in Tallahassee. It's going to be interesting if they're able to go in and find a way to win, and Thomas Castellanos is able to look at that camera and to the camera at the end of the day say, hey, I told you so. Well, we'll all have to listen to it. It is what it is. So Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach, every time Steve Spurrier has something that's on his mind or something that he feel like he wants to talk about, I listen to it. He's one of those coaches that I have a great affinity for. I think he was just so creative with his offense, and I know it's funny going offense didn't work in the nation's capital, with the Washington Redskins, but I just remember him, and I remember how fun his offenses were, and he just kind of talk about, that he went like a full story mode. He was reacting to Coastal Carolina baseball coach Kevin Schnall's ejection at the College World Series, and he was recalling his own ejection in 1997 versus LSU. He said, why does that matter? Because Spurrier believes that SEC ref flagged him for having a foot on the field late in a one-score game because the ref went to Georgia. Wow. That's crazy. Can't ref Georgia games, but can ref Florida games, Spurrier said. That dude said, I'm going to get those Gators for us. Peak pettiness, elite storytelling, classic Spurrier. You gotta love Steve Spurrier. I think he's just a person who tells it like it is, and every time he or Rex Grossman has a comment about Florida, I'm interested to see where they think and how they evaluate the program and where it's at. So let's get into the top 5 dynamic duos in college football right now. This was done by CBS. CBS has done some things recently that I haven't completely liked. Like, I was looking at their top 50 players heading into the 2026 NFL draft. I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. But let's see how they do with this one. So at number 1, they got Kaytron Allen and Nick Singleton from Penn State. Both of them, rushed over 1,000 yards last year. They deserve to be on this list. They got Anthony Hill and Colin Simmons from Texas. 30.5 combined tackles for loss last year. That's incredible. They should be on this list. Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. Smith led the Big Ten in yards and touchdowns as a true freshman. Carnell Tate is a real deal. Carnell Tate should be hearing his name called in the 2026 NFL draft. TJ Parker and Peter Woods. Woods is a 315-pound monster. Parker forced 6 fumbles last year. Really love Clemson's defensive line. More importantly, I just love Clemson's team overall. We are going to do a Clemson deep dive. I haven't figured out what day we're going to do that. I know Moon's been on his deep dive wave, and he's been kind of doing it at the G5 level. He's going to have a spectacular show for you all today. And I enjoy when me and Moon, we lab different things, or, sometimes we'll just go into talk about, how we can, better our shows and give people better content. And one of the things I was like, it'd be nice if I had like an Into the News panel or just new like transition scenes. So that was something we added today. Moon did something that I like even better than what I did for mine. So, people who do 1-hour shows, 4 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week, they understand how difficult it is as far as pre-production, especially when you don't have a producer. Moon's producing his own show. There's times I've helped him. He offered to help me today with the production of my show, but I just want to be able to do it myself, because even though I know Moon is always there, he's always available, I know he watches every show, I think it's important, for him to be able to do whatever he needed to do, during that time period. So I like this solid list. Kaytron Allen, Nick Singleton. I like this a lot better than the top 50 players heading to the 2026 draft. Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons, can't argue that. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, can't argue that. TJ Parker, Peter Woods, can't argue that. Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson. You really can't argue any of these. Are there some other dynamic duos that I love? Yes. Isaac Brown, Duke Watson, Louisville, love that running back combination. And we see that's college football 26. If those ratings hold true on release date, they love that combination. I can't wait to do a dynasty with Louisville. And when I do a dynasty with all of the guys in the gang, and, it's 32 of us in the dynasty, I think I'm going to start that thing with Louisville. Who else deserves to be on this list? Jadarian Price is just, he always seems to be an afterthought because of how talented Jeremiah Love is. But Jadarian Price is real deal. So, Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love certainly deserves to be mentioned in this dynamic duo list as well. Also, somebody else I'm forgetting about that I think deserves to be on this list. And then they did have some honorable mentions. Clemson wide receiver room certainly deserving to be on this list. Alabama wide receiver core with Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard. Auburn's new look duo with Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, and Jackson Arnold under center. So yeah, there's quite a few dynamic duos that I like in college football. I think they mentioned the primary ones, the ones that need to be mentioned. Other than that, it is what it is. And then our last topic of the day, we're going to talk about, for the Into the News segment, Steve Spurrier. Like I said, more Spurrier news. I get happy when I see Steve Spurrier news. So he was kind of talking about Arch Manning a little bit, and it's interesting. And Spurrier is kind of asking like $1 million question that some of us has been on the back of our minds, but maybe we've been afraid to ask the question, to be honest with you. And the question is, and some people will take this the wrong way, especially those fans down in Austin. They'll definitely take this the wrong way. It says, if Arch Manning was that good, why didn't he play more in 2024? It's a really good question. It's a fair question. Quinn Ewers ended up being the 7th round pick. Arch got first round projections. Could be pick number 1 in the 2026 draft. Could be pick number 1 in the 2027 draft. But full control of the Texas offense. Steve Sarkisian, one of the best play callers in all of college football. You guys have heard me say that before. But, I like it. I do think Texas will be in the college football playoff this upcoming season. I expect a deep run from their team as well. Definitely complete. There are some question marks we have with Texas, but, for the most part, I think I had them, number 1 in my post-spring rankings. I can't wait to do my post-fall camp rankings. And CFB Nation are going to start doing weekly rankings as well. So that's something you all should look out for. So that's our Into the News segment. Let's go ahead and jump into our Governor React segment. Alrighty, so Governor Reacts. We're going to react to Athlon Sports 2025 breakout players. I think this is a really solid list. Typically, when I'm reacting to a list or something like that, I'm not always the biggest fan of the list. I'll be completely transparent about that, completely honest about it. I'm not always the biggest fan of the list, but this list I think is solid. Coming in at number 1 for Athlon's breakout picks, they got Dylan Raiola. That's the guy you see on the screen right now. Let's be honest, this was inevitable. He's a 5-star with family ties to the program, and Matt Rule brought in Dana Holgerson to unlock his full potential. Raiola threw for 2,800 yards, 13 touchdowns last year, but looked shaky at times. And, with Holgerson calling plays, it'll be interesting. I really like this pick by Athlon. Dylan Raiola is real deal. I don't know why I'm getting phone calls at 4 o'clock when everybody know I'm streaming. Dylan Raiola being first on this list. Nebraska can be a really good team this year. We already know what Matt Rule does in year 3. The fans in Lincoln deserve it. What they've had, a bunch of sellouts since what? Is it the 1960s or the 1970s? They've had sellouts. College football is better when Nebraska is better. So if there's a team that I'm rooting for in silence, it's definitely Nebraska. And if Dylan Raiola have a breakout season, look out, because he'll start getting those crazy talks for 2027 NFL draft rankings. Coming up number 2, they had Dante Moore from Oregon. I'm excited for Dante Moore. Remember his very first year in college at UCLA, things didn't quite work out. We had Grandma getting on Chip Kelly, which was hilarious. Man, when Granny is getting on you done did something wrong. Granny was getting on Chip Kelly, saying that he knew what type of Chip Kelly knew what type of quarterback that Dante Moore was, had him in situations he shouldn't have been in. Granny was getting on Chip Kelly. So last year he threw for 1,600 yards at 11 touchdowns. I'm interested to see what he looks like in Eugene this year. I'm a huge believer in Dan Lanning. I love what he's done for that program. I love the way he's built that program. So, Dante Moore is certainly deserving to be on this list. If there's one guy, I think, this kind of off-season, spring season, probably other than Ty Simpson, who has really, jumped up, in a lot of people's minds, it's the kid at Ole Miss, Austin Simmons. Ole Miss, shout out to Ole Miss PR team, because they've done a phenomenal job of making his name popular or making it popping. And this might be a really sneaky pick from Athlon Sports. You look at what Lane Kiffin's been able to do. From an offensive perspective, he's been able to have elite balance. He's been able to have success, with a multitude of quarterbacks. There's been years that his offenses were in the top 15 in rushing and passing. That supreme balance. I like what Lane Kiffin has been able to do. I think he's on the cusp of being an elite coach. Right now, I would have him in the great tier, not quite an elite yet, because I really wanted them to make the playoff last year, and I could have been a season ahead. If there's a sneaky team in the SEC and one we're trying to calibrate, this Austin Simmons kid is getting a lot of hype. It'll be great if he can have a breakout year and hopefully propel the team from Oxford, Mississippi, that is, into the college football playoff. That would be phenomenal. And then we got Damon Williams from Washington, another dual threat quarterback on the list, flash in the Sun Bowl to operate under Jed Fish. Quarterback-friendly design. We saw what Noah Fafita was able to do in Jed Fish's offense back in 2023. I think Williams truly fits the bill for Washington, and Washington could be one of those sneaky teams in the Big Ten as well. Running back Gideon Davison from Clemson. This is a guy a lot of people like. I've said it on the show before. I've never been a high school recruit guy. That's never been my wheelhouse. I'm more of a X's and O's, than the Jimmys and Joes type of guy. But I do know a lot of players. Don't get it twisted. But I follow schemes more than I follow names. But Gideon Davison is a name I continue to hear, not only during high school, but during, spring ball. We kept hearing his name. He's going to end up getting a lot of carries this year, a lot of touches. And it just seemed like Clemson is always finding one of those guys at running back. Year in and year out under Dabo Swinney, Clemson has had running backs. Whether it's C.J. Spiller, whether it's James Davis, whether it's Wayne Gallman, whether it's Phil Maffa from this past season, Clemson always find a way to find running back. And they might have found their next great running back in Gideon Davison. Number 6 on Athlon Sports List. We got Jaden Greyhouse. This is somebody I heard Nino talking about a lot. They're getting big on the flashes. Greyhouse show last year against Penn State and Ohio State in the playoffs. He combined for over 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. If that's any sign of what to come, he's going to be a Sunday player. And hopefully he does turn out that way. I'm interested to see how this Notre Dame quarterback battle shakes up. I'm really interested in seeing that. So hopefully, yeah, he could be the next great Notre Dame wide receiver. Mike Matthews from Tennessee. Tennessee is going to need stellar play this year. I look at their team. I look at their roster. I look at their team. I look at their schedule. I look at the construction of their roster. And I say that this can possibly be Josh Heupel's best job he's ever done as a head coach. Because if they somehow get 9 wins this year, I mean, we really got to put some respect on Josh Heupel's name. We really do. We really do, because they lost a lot with Nico, whether the fans in Knoxville want to admit it or not. And I understand the bitterness and how, in some ways Nico Iamaleava did play himself. He thought he would get more money in the portal. That didn't happen, but I think he ended up with a really good fit. Watch out for UCLA in the Big Ten this year. I'm not saying to win it all, but to be competitive, yes. For a possible bowl eligibility, yes. Even one game over bowl eligibility, yes. Look out for UCLA in that regard. At number 8 in Athlon Sports breakout players to watch, Luke Reynolds, Penn State, another top recruit in the tight end system that just lost Tyler Warren. The Nittany Lions NFL tight ends yearly. Agreed. Reynolds is next in line. Jordan Seaton, Colorado. He's been on a lot of preseason all-conference lists. I think I've even seen him on a preseason all-American list, like a third team. I've looked at a lot of magazines. I know I'm a sicko. I'm at number 10, Edric Houston, Ohio State. Ohio State next monster up front. We know what Ohio State's going to do defensively. I'm interested to see how well this Matt Patricia system works in Columbus. It's going to be really interesting. But like I said, I'm excited to see it. Shout out to everybody who's always, joining this, retweeting this. I appreciate it. My brother, Lever Weeze, he's always the first person to comment in the comment section. For everybody that's watching this on YouTube, I got a special segment coming up. It's the last segment. It'll be our Around the Nation segment where you guys just name players that you guys want to see me go over on College Football 26, and we'll look at their ratings. As of now, the ratings are subject to change before the game come out. Y'all just let me know that. Coming in at number 11, LT Overton from Alabama. 42 tackles and 2 sacks last year. If he builds on that, he could turn into a household name in Kane Womack's new look Alabama defense. Safety KJ Bolden, Georgia. Kirby Smart defenses are always loaded, but Bolden's versatility and closing speed stand out. He's got NFL eyes on him already, and this could turn to a breakout season. So some of the people that I thought that should have been on this list, or maybe they felt like they've already broke out already, but some of the people that I'll be watching this upcoming season as it pertains to being, possible breakout players. Number 1 on that list is Sawyer Robertson. Sawyer Robertson and the Baylor Bears are going to take college football by storm this year. They really are. The weapons check, got a running game check. Jake Spavital system check. I really like this team. I can't wait to see this team down there at Big 12 Media Days. This is the team that I'm most excited to see down at Big 12 Media Days. So watch out for them. Safety Peyton Bowen for Oklahoma. I think he's going to have one of those years this year. I truly do. I think he's truly going to pop. We've seen him kind of be on the cusp in his freshman and sophomore campaigns. His junior year, watch out for Peyton Bowen. I think he'll be a breakout player this year as well. Quarterback Alex Orji, UNLV. I'm higher on UNLV than most, and I'm okay with that, because the things that I pay attention to in college football is probably different from what most people pay attention to. I know we all look at roster construction. We all look at, the various metrics, whether it's success rate or return production or, whatever metric you deem important. But a lot of times I look at systems and I look at who's the guy steering this engine. And I know Dan Mullen is one of those guys I believe in. I think the swagger that he's going to bring to Nevada, Las Vegas, to this campus is going to be different. I like the kid Jaden Thomas that they have at running back. I think Alex Orji was handed a raw deal in Michigan. And it's scary to be a Michigan quarterback in Sharon Moore's system. Sharon Moore is an offensive lineman by trade. Sharon Moore ain't afraid to run the ball. I think while Jim Harbaugh preferred a little bit of balance, Sharon Moore is like, we're going to run the ball, we're going to play physical, we're going to play good defense, and we're going to be in games. So I think Alex Orji, we may see him go off at UNLV this year and see that potential that we thought we were going to get in Ann Arbor last year. Another guy to watch, we're going to stay in the same state, we're going to go to East Lansing. Aidan Chiles is another guy that I think will be a breakout player this year. And I like Aidan Chiles a lot. I said this on Overreaction Monday yesterday, that when I'm at these games and I'm on the sidelines, I just see so many things that are missed during a minute and a half TV timeout or a 3.5 minute TV timeout. There's still people interacting on the sideline, and at every stadium I've been on, the home sideline, there's a little bit more security. It's a little bit difficult to maneuver around. But at College Park, I'm always on the visitor sideline. Not that I'm going for the visitors. It's just that I have more access on that sideline. So I've been able to hear offensive coordinators and quarterbacks talk. Like, I've been able to see, like, Aidan Chiles on the sideline. Even after a bad possession, he's going up. He's dapping everybody up. Hey, we're going to get him next possession. And it's not something that is, like, fake and he's just trying to be a fake leader. But it's something that I truly believe that this kid is a natural born leader, and I think you're going to see it. You see it, like, he's active in the community. Second consecutive year, he's running a youth quarterback camp, and he linked up with a quarterback from Ann Arbor. Last year was Alex Orji, who we just mentioned. This year was Bryce Underwood. So I'm excited for Michigan State. They're just in a conference where there's so many teams that when you start looking at teams that are going to be bowl eligible, how do we feel about Rutgers this year? How do we truly evaluate Nebraska this year? How do we feel about USC this year? I think USC with Tino Sinceri's system is going to be much improved this year. How do we feel about Indiana? What's Indiana in calibration? While I 100% believe in Kirk Cignetti, how are we feeling about other teams? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. And then another guy, kind of forgotten a guy, is Kyron Drones. I really felt for Kyron Drones this year. And a lot of times I try to put my emotions to the side about, how I feel about players. But Virginia Tech is one of those programs that I'm close in proximity to. And it had to be rough seeing, because I remember off-season 2024, before the 2024 season started, I remember seeing Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, and Kyron Drones, like, trading jabs with each other, preparing for the season, saying how they the next wave this year going to be their year. And in Tyler Bowen's system, it just didn't work for Kyron Drones. Like, I picked Virginia Tech to be in a college football playoff last year. And while I was disappointed in Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss last season, no team disappointed me more in Virginia Tech because the amount of home games that they played last year, when I looked at their strength of schedule, they had the number one return on production in the country. So I said, hey, this should enter success. I really love their head coach, Brent Pry, who's probably on the hot seat, or seat is getting a little hot. And I hate to say that because he's such a phenomenal coach. He does coach speak almost better than any coach that I've been around. He's the son of a coach. So you just know that he was born into this. He ain't really choose it. It chose him. He really didn't have a choice. So I look at Kyron Drones. I look at what he can possibly do in Philip Montgomery's system this upcoming season. I think Virginia Tech is going to be sneaky good in the ACC. Is my predictions and my projections for them as high as they were last year? Hell no, because I just think Louisville is that damn good. I really do. So that will be my sneaky team. But for that next tier team, a team that can go 8-4, 9-3, and somebody that can really perform this year and be like a ACC Offensive Player of the Year, Kyron Drones is the name that comes to mind. So these are my 5 breakout players. I'll repeat the 12 players that Athlon had. They had Dylan Raiola, who deserves to be on the list, Dante Moore, Austin Simmons, Damon Williams, Gideon Davison, Jaden Greathouse, Mike Matthews, Luke Reynolds, Jordan Seaton, Edric Houston, LT Overton, and KJ Bolden. And my 5, who I didn't think they had on the list, Sawyer Robertson, but it could be argued that his breakout year was last year. I think he's going to play even better this year. Peyton Bowen, who I'm buying a lot of stock for Oklahoma, and Peyton Bowen. Alex Orji, I believe in Dan Mullen. I believe in the players that they got out there. And I know a lot of people are picking Boise State to win the Mountain West, and as the great Lee Corso would say, not so fast. I'm telling you, UNLV will be right there in the thick of things this year. I promise you that. Aidan Chiles, Michigan State, I love what he's doing at East Lansing. I truly enjoyed watching him play last year, and they were able to come to College Park, kind of upset Maryland. But you look at, Nick Marsh, true number 1 at wide receiver. I like what Michigan State is building, and Kyron Drones. Kyron Drones kind of been an afterthought, but it's okay. I think he'll get it together this year. So which of these players do you guys feel will break out this upcoming season? Is there a player you feel like I forgot? Let me know. If you feel like there's a player that Athlon Sports forgot, let me know as well. I'm monitoring the comment section. Like I said, don't forget, later on in this episode, we're going to look at some college football 26 player ratings. If there's a player you want, go and put it in the chat. My boy Moon is in there. He'll monitor it. He'll text me behind the scenes, but I got the chat pulled up on my phone right now. So let's get it. So on to the next segment, Governor's Ruling. We're going to look at PFF's top transfer portal players. And I love when we get to react to things like this. And you guys see I got Miami in the video, so you guys should already know who's number one. I enjoy when I get to go back and forth with, minds that I respect. Like being Nino was able to trade some jabs yesterday on college. I'm sorry, on Overreaction. I'm on too many shows, y'all. Overreaction Monday, even though we did a show on Tuesday. And his expectations for Miami are higher than my expectations for Miami. And I think they're probably higher than Moon's as well. So I really can't wait for ACC Media Days. ACC is home for us. I can't wait to go down there. It's like a family reunion every time we go down there. And, of course, we go to Big 12 Media Days first. And then maybe we'll hear from SEC and we end up going to SEC Media Days as well. I don't know. That's a lot because I got so much going on this upcoming month, especially in July with the wedding that I'm going to as well. But number one on this list is Carson Beck. How do we feel about Carson Beck and our evaluation of Carson Beck? How do we feel about Miami? The team is loaded. Mario Cristobal has certainly done the work, getting recruits there, making 305 relevant again. Shout out to Mario Cristobal and the job he's been able to do. But just like I do with James Franklin, just like I do with Brian Kelly, just like I did with Matt Campbell last season, this is a what have you done for me lately? You guys had an opportunity to make the playoffs last year or the ACC championship, and you failed to get the job done with an elite guy at quarterback. Here you have another elite guy at quarterback. Carson Beck, I think, is going to turn some heads this year. I really do. I think last season, I think we kind of look at the interceptions, and the interceptions were high, and there was just some bad games out there. When you look at it, the Ole Miss game was one of those games. The first half of the Alabama game was one of those games. But he still performed, and I think he's going to be in a friendlier offense and an easier division. So he should be able to put up some stats this year. So Carson Beck is number one on their list. Number two on their list is Nico Iamaleava, somebody that I talked about a little bit earlier. Huge Tino Sinceri fan. I like the system. I like the players that they have around them. Deshaun Foster in year two. His year one was rough for UCLA, but I blame Chip Kelly more than I blame Deshaun Foster because Chip Kelly just got tired of coaching at the collegiate level, and he was looking for a way out. He wanted back in the NFL a season ago. Luckily for him, he landed in Columbus. He was able to win the championship as an offensive coordinator. Did a phenomenal job for the Ohio State team a season ago, but, looking at where we are this year, and Chip Kelly, the recruiting, look at the recruiting ranks, his third to last year, second to last year, and his last year there. It was a consistent slope. He was just tired of the fundraising that you have to do in college football. So I'm interested to see how well UCLA performs this year. Guy Hughes from Oregon, super talented, came from Tulane last year. He'll probably be on a lot of preseason All-Americans list. They got a 1-2 punch at running back. He deserves to be on this list. Eric Singleton, Auburn. We got to see Eric Singleton a lot last year due to our relationship with Georgia Tech. Shout out to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech always shows us love. Moon is down there in Atlanta, so he's able to attend a lot of those games. And it's not just them down there. Georgia State shows CFB Nation a lot of love as well, so shout out to their SID. I try not to mention these people by name because I don't want people watching the show trying to contact them. But, shout out to both of their SIDs. Next on this list is Kevin Concepcion, Texas A&M. He deserves to be up here. Well, he was able to do his freshman year, and I seen it from their spring game. And I remember being down there in Raleigh. It was the first credential game that I've ever been to. And I remember just being there, and it was like a rainy day out there. And there was just this guy that number 10 that just kept flashing and getting open every play. The quarterbacks weren't seeing him, but he was open every play. I'm like, this kid is real deal. I remember talking to Nino about it. I remember doing my recap of NC State spring game and talking a lot about Kevin Concepcion. This guy real deal. He's in Colin Klein's system. Marcel Reed at quarterback. I hear that they're building one hell of a connection down there in College Station. So it'll be great to see what happens with Kevin Concepcion this upcoming year. Jack Entries, man, Texas, from Cal to Texas. Shout out to him. Shout out to his dad. Both of them follow me on Twitter. So shout out to the Entries family. I really like this kid. When I look at who tight end numero uno is, for me, it's Jack Entries. It really is. I think great third down target, and he's going to end up being one of Arch Manning's best friends. I promise you that. That safety blanket, somebody that is just always going to find a way to get open. Watch out for Jack Entries in the 2026 NFL draft. I'm telling you, this kid is real deal. Texas Tech entire D-line. If there's a team that spent some money this year, and we look at who's the Ohio State of this year, because we know in 2024 Ohio State spent a lot of money into the season. Texas Tech is certainly that team. Coach McGuire and company weren't afraid to spend money. They knew that defensive line or their defense in totality was trash last year. Gave up a whopping 59 points to Baylor. They gave up another 50 points to it was either like might have been like a G5 school, maybe even a FCS school, like somebody they had no business giving 50 points up to, but their defense was abysmal last year. So shout out to them. They looked at their roster. They said, hey, these are the areas we need to fix, and they went to go fix them. They weren't afraid to spend money. Cornerback Jeremiah Wilson, Florida State, 4 picks a season ago, 46.7 passer rating allowed, 5'10". I can see why he will be on this list. Cam Calhoun, Alabama. He was finished top 10 in PFF grade for corners. And he came over from Utah. And then Dylan Thieneman. This is somebody that we've seen in a lot of preseason awards. You look at, what he's able to do. I'm sure Dan Lanning was excited to get him via the portal. So, really solid list. So, I'm going to name a few people that I believe that they forgot that should have been on this list, and I was surprised they weren't on this list. I'm not saying your list is bad, Athlon. I'm a huge fan of Athlon Sports. I'm just saying there's some people you forgot. Jaden Ott. You mentioned Jack Entries. You should have mentioned Jaden Ott. I know Jaden Ott had a down year last year, but in 2023, Jaden Ott killed. He killed in the Pac-12 if you look at his 2023 season. So, I can certainly see him being a first team or SEC selection this upcoming year. That's how much I believe in him. Chandler Morris, guy from North Texas, transferred to Virginia. I believe he's a forgotten about guy as well. You look at his abilities and what he's able to do. I like Chandler Morris a lot. Up next, I'm jumping the gun here a little bit. Fernando Mendoza, Indiana, was another guy that could have been on their list. I can see why they left him off because they didn't want to show too much love to Cal. But, he's at Indiana now. He's in Kirk Cignetti's system, Mike Shanahan's system to be exact. So I really like that. So Mendoza versus Raiola in November is going to be a really great game. John Mateer, Oklahoma, dominated in Pullman. Not only did he go, his offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, went as well. I think that's a guy that they left off their list. Kind of a gadget guy. Zachariah Branch, I don't believe he was used correctly in the USC system, and it hurts me to say that because I'm a huge fan of the air raid offense, but I'm interested to see how he fares at Georgia. How will they use him? Will they put him at running back sometimes and give him carries out the backfield, or let him run routes from that running back position? It'll be interesting to see. Another guy that they forgot Darian Mensah. All the money that Duke gave Darian Mensah, and he wasn't up here. Another guy that they forgot too is Amar Hardy, went from ULM to Missouri. So those are my picks right here. And we're about to get into our really interactive and engaging segment. I can't wait to get into it. But before that, we're going to take an ad break. We'll be right back after these messages. Look at you out here using all these other sports books, and you ain't even using the best one. BetUS. Get 125% match bonus when you use the promo code CFBNation. Yeah, you heard me correctly. 125% match bonus on your first deposit using that code CFBNation. We know that college football is in the offseason, even though we don't celebrate that. CFBNation, we do college football 24/7. But there are plenty of things for you guys to bet on.
Who will have the most wins? OKC Thunder or Cleveland Cavaliers? Can Luka and LeBron make it all mesh to make it to the play-in tournament? Maybe you're a college basketball guy ready to risk it all for Florida to make it to the big dance.
Basketball isn't for you? Maybe you're a football guy. Well, BetUS got you covered with this year's UEFA Championship. Can Liverpool or Barcelona win it all? Will Erling Haaland or Harry Kane lead their teams to victory?
May is going to get popping when the Kentucky Derby hits town. BetUS has you covered in that way too, with all major horse racing events. Point is, type in that promo code CFBNation and go get that money.
So, alrighty, we're back. I don't know why my screen's black. Let me pull this up real quick. Alrighty, now we got it up. So, doing a really interactive segment. If you're watching this on CFB Nation Twitter or my Twitter, head over to YouTube, put in your search bar at Governor of College Football. I'll pull up and let me know the players that you all want to see and look at for this roster. Dan Mullen and UNLV will make the playoff. I like these comments. I'm with you on Louisville. This is nice stuff, Governor of College Football. Hey, appreciate all these comments, man. But anyway, let's get back to it. So name some players that you guys want to see on this list right here. And yeah. So right now we're looking at Cade Klubnik. I forgot what his overall is 92. 86 speed, 85 agility, 87 acceleration, 91 awareness, 87 toughness, 95 stamina. Let's look at his passing stats. 93 power, throwing power. This is one of his concerns heading into the NFL. 93 short accuracy, 91 medium accuracy, 93 deep accuracy. His throw on the run is 87. This kid's got it all. So I really like Club Next stats. Name some players that you guys would like to see me look at next. So we're going to go back here. Let's go look at Caden Salter. Caden Salter from Liberty. Shout out to Liberty. And who would you guys like to see me compare Caden Salter to? Let's do Caden Salter and Connor Wegman. That's a really good one. And I love this feature where you compare the players. If you guys got somebody else you guys want to compare, let me know. So I'm gonna compare these two right now. And we'll see what they're looking like. So overall, wow. The disrespect for Connor Wegman, EA Sports. Get it together. That's crazy. The Connor Wegman disrespect is crazy. So they got Caden Salter at 88 overall. Connor Wegman at 83 overall. Speed. Caden Salter at 90 speed. Got 91 agility. Connor Wegman got 85 agility. 82 speed. That is still fast on this game. 86 acceleration is really fast. And they compare with Darian Mensah. I'll bring up Darian Mensah next. You guys just got to let me know who you want me compared to. Change of direction for Caden Salter is 90. Caden Salter is going to be nasty on this game. Stiff arm they gave to Connor Wegman. Spin move they gave to Caden Salter, as they should. Juke move, but Connor Wegman's juke move is still very high. What else we got on here? Throwing power. They gave Connor Wegman a 93, Caden Salter a 92. Short accuracy. Caden Salter wins that by 3. Medium accuracy and deep accuracy goes to Connor Wegman. Houston will be a fun rebuild on this game. I promise you Houston will be a fun rebuild on this game. So let's look at some other quarterbacks. How about we do Darian Mensah? Somebody give me another quarterback that we want to look at. Let's do Darian Mensah. Give me another quarterback that you guys want to see. Let's compare another quarterback to Darian Mensah. Who did we do yesterday? Let's do Darian Mensah. Let's do my guy Sawyer Robertson. First thing that came to mind. Alrighty. I like how fast this is. Yo, Sawyer Robertson is 88 speed? That's crazy, cuz. So Darian Mensah got him as, I'm sorry, he's 88 overall. My apologies. So Darian Mensah is 89 overall. I should have compared him to Gio Lopez. That's who I should have compared him to. But I'll bring up Gio Lopez next. So 89 overall. Sawyer Robertson's 88 overall. Speed, Sawyer Robertson got. Strength, Sawyer Robertson got. Agility, Darian Mensah got. Acceleration, Darian Mensah got. Awareness, Sawyer Robertson with the 88 awareness. That's tough. Break tackle at 79. Sawyer Robertson got that. Truck, Sawyer Robertson got that at 67. Change the direction, Darian Mensah should have that. And then ball carrier vision, Darian Mensah got that by plus 10. Let's go ahead and look at the passing stats now. Throwing power, Sawyer Robertson 93. Darian Mensah 92. Medium accuracy. Damn, Darian Mensah is nice on this game. Duke look like they'll be a fun rebuild. That's crazy. Medium accuracy is 92. Sawyer Robertson is 85. And then deep accuracy, Sawyer Robertson is 89. And Darian Mensah is 84. So that's not bad. Darian Mensah 89 overall. Sawyer Robertson is 88 overall. So I'm going to do Gio Lopez. Give me another quarterback. I'm going to do Gio Lopez and somebody else. Somebody give me another quarterback. Gio Lopez versus Alonzo Barnett. I like that one. JMU is another friend of the family. So overall, Barnett has it. Speed, Barnett has it plus 5. Strength, they gave to Gio Lopez. Agility, they gave to Barnett. Acceleration, they gave to Barnett. Awareness, they gave to Barnett. Break tackle, they gave to Lopez. Trucking, they gave to Lopez. Spin move, juke move is good for both quarterbacks. Let's go ahead and look at the passing stats. Woo, dead heat for throwing power. Throwing power 89 scares me a little bit, especially if I got a fast wide receiver. That would scare me. That really would. Medium accuracy is 89 for Barnett. Deep accuracy is 83. Damn, I thought Gio Lopez would be better on this game. Somebody give me another comparison. It don't got to be two quarterbacks and be cornerbacks, whoever y'all want. I got one. Let's go look at some DNs now. Let's look at some good old pass rushers. We'll look at Dylan Stewart and Sutton. So this could be any two players. Why does y'all keep doing that? Yeah, Barnett is severely underrated. I agree with that, Mo. Dylan Stewart. I think this is a good comparison right here. So right and left end overall, damn, both of them are really good. But the edge is to Dylan Stewart, and I think it should be 91 speed for Dylan Stewart. Jesus Christ. That is incredible. 91 speed? That's crazy. 96 acceleration for Dylan Stewart. Yo, South Carolina's going to be OP on this damn game, bro. We're going to go take a look at South Carolina's roster soon, too. That's crazy. 91 speed, 96 acceleration at defensive end. Change of direction, 75. What's the strength? You see the strength up here, 78. So it definitely gave the strength to Sutton. Jump 90. Dylan Stewart is athletic on this damn game, yo. Tackle 83. Power 93. Power move 88. They gave that to Sutton. Finesse move they gave. I think this is right to Dylan Stewart. Yeah, Dylan Stewart is a cheat code. That's crazy. Pursuit is 99. His pursuit is not, bro, you not outrunning him. So you remember how much of a cheat code that Jalen Milroe was last year? Just imagine, having, this variation of Dylan Stewart, bro. You not outrunning him. That's a really good one. Give me some other players to look at. Just go ahead, go to Governor of College Football on YouTube. Give me some other players to look at. Let's do the defensive ends. Let's do, I'm going to do like a left tackle versus, I'm going to do like a left tackle versus an interior offensive lineman. That's crazy though. So let's do Caden Proctor versus Jake Slaughter. If you guys got any other ones you want to see in the chat, let me know. I just want to see one like this one. Okay, Caden Proctor, 94 overall. Jake Slaughter, 92 overall. If you guys got any teams you want to look at, we want to look at a complete team, let me know that as well. So 94 overall to 92 overall. The speed goes to Slaughter. What's their acceleration? Damn. So if you got a center pulling on a play and he's got 70 speed and 79 acceleration, look out. Let's look at the blocking. Let's go down to the blocking. Let's go down to what matters. Pass blocking. Damn. Caden Proctor, 94 overall. Slaughter, 91 overall. Pass block power, 97 to 93. Pass blocking finesse is in a dead heat at 88. Run blocking, they gave the edge to Proctor. Run blocking power, they gave to Proctor. Run blocking finesse, they gave to Slaughter. I think I would agree with that. Damn, Caden Proctor is OP on this game. How about we look at another quarterback one? Let's look at LaNorris Sellers versus DJ Lagway. I think this is a really good one. I think this is a really good one. Wow. We almost got a dead heat in the overall. I like this one a lot. So the overall, they gave the edge to LaNorris Sellers. The speed, I'm surprised because I think Sellers is faster than Lagway, but that's pretty good. Strength they gave to Sellers, agility they gave to Sellers, acceleration they gave to Sellers. But hell, DJ Lagway, he's definitely a dual threat on this game for sure. Carrying they gave to DJ Lagway. Alrighty, so let's go to the throwing. Wow, DJ Lagway throwing power is 98, cuz. That's crazy. Throwing power is 98. Florida's OP on this game, too, though. Short accuracy, they gave to LaNorris Sellers at 87. Medium accuracy, they gave to Lagway. Deep accuracy, they gave to LaNorris Sellers. What was LaNorris Sellers change of direction? That should be high, too. 92, I knew it would be high. That's a really good comparison right there. Who else would you guys like to look at? Let's look at Jeremiah Love. Let's look at Jeremiah Love versus another running back. Let's look at him versus a kid that I like a lot, Isaac Brown. Of course, Love is a better back, but I'm interested to see where they both at. Wow, he's only 2 overall better than them. Speed there in the day heat. Strength, Love, agility. Brown is real deal. Brown and Duke Watson are real deal on this game. Acceleration, they gave to Brown. Awareness, of course, to Love. Break tackle to Love. Trucking to Love. Change of direction. Yo, Isaac Brown is insane on this game, bro. If you not excited to use Louisville, bruh, I'm telling you, this team is really good. Spin move, like, Duke Watson is cold too. What was his juke move? Juke move 89, spin move 85, change of direction 96. That's crazy. Let's do their backups. Let's do Jadarian Price versus Duke Watson. Damn. They showed Duke Watson some love on this game. Duke Watson is an 87 overall, bro. Imagine the wear and tear system. Imagine using Louisville. Man, I'm telling you, 94 speed, 94 agility, 96 acceleration. What Duke Watson averaged? Like 9 yards per carry last year? Price should be physical. His break tackle and his trucking should be decent. Yeah. Yo, they gave Duke Watson an 85 break tackle, 93 change of direction. Spin move, 85. Juke move, 88. Yo, they show some love to Duke Watson, man. What's another comparison you guys would like to see? How about we look at some really fast wide receivers? Let's look at Barrion Brown versus... Let's look at Barrion Brown versus Nick Harbor. All right, so Barrion, both of them 99 speed, bro. But the strength, Nick Harbor 6'5", 235, bro. Hey, LSU's gonna be cold. All right, we got about a little less than 7 minutes left on this episode. If there's any teams you would like to see, I'm now looking at teams. This is my last player versus player comparison, unless somebody got another one. 97 acceleration, 98 acceleration. Awareness goes to Brown, as it should. Break tackles high, trucking's high. What's the route running? Yeah, see, this is where Harbor on the game, because he's fast and be able to run route, but this is where Barrion Brown is dangerous, especially with a quarterback like Garrett Nussmeier. This would be crazy. That's a good one right there. All right, let's go back to teams. I want to look at LSU. LSU is a team that I talk about a lot. Let's look at LSU. All right, the top offensive players: Garrett Nussmeier, Aaron Anderson, Caden Durham, and then we got wow. Brian Kelly and Mario Cristobal are victims of the unless you're elite trash internet top 15 coach in the nation. Okay. Damn. It's a lot of comments I don't be saying, man. But shout out to everybody that's been commenting on the show. I truly appreciate it. So, LSU, the top offensive players, Garrett Nussmeier, Aaron Anderson, Caden Durham. He's another really fast running back. 95 speed, 93 agility, 97 acceleration. This LSU team is gonna be scary, man. Real scary. Garrett Nussmeier, he's nice. Harold Perkins. Their linebacking core should be tough. Let's look at all of their players. Yeah, Nick Anderson. Their wide receiver core is so tough. Aaron Anderson, Nick Anderson, Barry and Brown. Then defensively, they got Patrick Peyton. Whit Weeks, who's like that. Harold Perkins, who's like that. Like, this team is just so cold. Let's look at another team. Let's look at Florida. Slaughter, we knew he'll be high. Lagway, we knew he'll be high. Eugene Wilson, Tyreek Sapp is real deal. Caleb Banks, Jordan Castell. Slaughter at 70 speed and offensive line is crazy. Sapp, Lagway, Caleb Banks, Austin Barber. Their offensive line is so good, bro. Like, damn, their backup center is even like that. Like, their offensive line is so goated, bro. I really like this Florida team. So Florida's interesting. Give me another team. Let's look at a team we haven't looked at. Let me see how good they made Mark Gronowski on this game. Let's look at Iowa. You know they're going to have one of the best offensive lines on this game. They're going to always find a way to play defense. Let's look at Gronowski, see how good he is on this game. Damn. They ain't put Cuz in the top 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. 81 overall for Mark Gronowski. That's crazy. 81 speed, 79 strength, 80 agility, 85 acceleration, 87 awareness. Y'all want to look at Illinois? I bet. We'll look at Illinois next. Shout out to my guy Jalen. Just Jalen. So we'll look at Illinois next, and then we'll close this out. Throw power is 88. Short accuracy. Okay. Let's go back to Iowa teams. Let's look at Illinois. Illinois is another team I have in the playoff this upcoming year. My dog Luke Altmaier. They showed Luke Altmaier some love this year, bro. 89 overall. What's my dog Hudson Clement overall? He better be in the top 10, bro. Oh. Damn, 82 overall for Hudson Clement. Y'all tripping. Gabe had a hell of a season last year. Xavier Scott, J.C. Davis. Luke, they gave Luke some speed on this game, too. This defense is about to be biting. Offensive line about to be biting. They carry Hudson Clement, though. 86 speed, 86 agility, 88 acceleration, 85 awareness. What's his route running, though? Okay, 88 catch, 91 short, 86 medium. Okay, that ain't bad. Y'all want to check Miami? All right, we'll look at Miami's. That'll be the last team I look at. Alrighty. Carson Beck, 91 overall. Francis Maagua. We knew he was going to be up there. Ruben Bain, he deserves to be up there. Damn, look at their corners. Yeah, Nico, I looked at Nico's overall earlier. It might be like an 86. So I'm going to continue scrolling down Miami's roster so everybody can see it. And then I'll go look at Nico's overall. And then we'll close out this episode. So this is a fun exercise, looking at these roster. This website is teamcrafters.net. If you're trying to figure out what website this is on. We don't know if this will be the final release rosters, but shout out to their team. Because you have no clue how difficult it is to do something like this. I'm sure they had the help of AI, but it's still difficult nonetheless. So Nico's an 88 overall. Yeah, Carson Beck is 91. I mean, he threw a lot of interceptions last year. He threw 28 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. But yeah, Carson Beck's a 91. So Nico is 86 speed, 89 agility, 90 acceleration. I think his throwing power is a 97. Short accuracy, yeah. I'm definitely doing a UCLA rebuild next season. So it was a fun episode, man. I truly enjoyed that interactive exercise we did. Shout out to everybody who's always show love on the show. My boy Leverett Weeds, my brother. He's always the first person to comment each and every episode. Shout out to my boy Moon. Shout out to D Now. He's always retweeting the moment that it goes live up on the Twitter. Shout out to my boy Just Jalen. Check out the latest video he just did on teams that were almost national champions. He's on the road to 3K subscribers on YouTube. His channel is going absolutely crazy. So shout out to him. I know Moon is going live later. World of College Football, and I probably shouldn't be telling y'all what he's covering, but all Boise State fans, you're not going to want to miss this one. He's doing a Boise State deep dive. I can't wait to see that episode. I'm out of here. It's been fun. As I always like to say, there are no more victories in the sport that survive in advance. That's why college football has the greatest regular season. Until next time, you all take care. Governor of college football, we're going to recap ACC.
Hey, that's
Two
CJ
great
on
defensive
that
minds.
track.
They have to be better on that side of the